Buonasera, signore e signori, good evening. Welcome to New York University, Casa Italiana, Zerilli-Marimò, for this much-awaited event. As you know, it's an event for the members of Casa Italiana, and I see a few of them here. And I hope you appreciate these very special occasions that our opera company residence, Underworld Opera Productions, offers to us. And welcome to all of you who are here maybe for the first time. I hope you come back for other things. As I say, since we started this cooperation with Underworld, it's a great pleasure to have them here. First of all, for the fantastic mission that they fulfill, to bring opera to places in New York where opera is not normally heard, and also beyond New York. It's not the case of Casa Italiana, obviously, but what they do goes way beyond the walls of Casa Italiana. But we are happy that we were able to give them a house, a roof, where they can perform, they can have masterclasses, auditions, and do all the other things that an opera company needs to do. And I thank Dinah, who is the artistic director and founder of Underworld, and all the artists that collaborate with her for the great flexibility they demonstrate. We all live together with all these roommates, the theater company residents, the Department of Italian Studies, all the events at the Casa, and we try to make the best of the space that we were fortunate enough to receive from our founder, Zerilli. And the other reason why I'm very happy to have Underworld Opera Productions here at the Casa is that from my office that is right about here, when they rehearse, I hear what they're doing. And I assure you there is nobody more lucky than me having the fortune to have these wonderful artists perform live, basically for me alone, because there is nobody in the room. And also for many other reasons. One of the other missions of Underworld Opera Productions is also to discover musical talents, singers, musicians, to help them begin their career or consolidate their career. So for all these reasons, we are very proud and very happy to have them back. One more reason for me to be happy is that I always learn something from Dinah when she puts together a program. First of all, first thing I learned tonight is that Elsa Respighi, actually we learned that when we did the previous concert, that Elsa Respighi was Ottorino Respighi's wife. I didn't even know he had a wife, much less than she composed as well, and much less than she was a great composer, as you will hear from the 4 pieces that Dinah has prepared for us. And then we're going to have Trouble in Tahiti by Bernstein, an opera with a very complicated story that I'm not even trying to tell you, because Dinah is going to do that at intermission. But we are having, from what I understand, the original piece that Bernstein wrote. Then there were additions, subtractions. We are listening to the original thing as it came out. I'm very excited to hear the whole thing without interruptions and without people coming to my office and the phone ringing. And I hope you will enjoy it as much as I do. The whole program lasts about an hour, including the intermission, during which Dinah is going to tell us something more about Trouble in Tahiti. Enjoy the concert, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much. I'm Dinah, Director of Underworld Productions. And just 2 words about the Elsa Respighi Quattro Liriche that you're about to hear. We have discovered these pieces and performed them prior. We did perform them in March with piano accompaniment. And we were just so struck by the exoticism of these pieces that we wanted to commission a chamber ensemble version with all the atmospheric colors that could be drawn out of that music. And what better way to honor our friends at Casa Italiana than to have this commission, just to represent our friendship. So that's what we're premiering here tonight, this chamber ensemble version that was commissioned by us from Papale. And so listen for all the many beautiful exotic colors as Elsa Respighi sets Persian poetry from the 11th century. In particular, you might want to listen for a beautiful section where the text is Un breve ragionar di te e di me. A brief glimmer of you and of me appeared, and then nothing more. And what you'll hear is sort of the accompaniment drop out, and then just little flashes from each instrument surrounding you. exoticism was something that was very prevalent in the period when Elsa Respighi was writing. Puccini was writing Madame Butterfly, and Turandot, and we have Scheherazade, etc. It's a way of kind of making a statement about difficult philosophical truths through the mouth of another, to make them a little bit more palatable. So you'll see how that works. I think that in this version, when we hear those difficulties about life, about how it's just a brief moment and then death comes, it's easier to take when we hear it in this very Persian inflected music. So here it is, Elsa Respighi's Quattro Liriche, and welcome to Kelli Butler, soprano. away and our stage manager, Steve Velarde, gets the set up for Trouble in Tahiti, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Trouble in Tahiti and maybe take some questions about it. So Trouble in Tahiti, as Stefano Albertini has already told you, is the original version that Bernstein wrote in 1951. Later on, he expanded, well, he wrote a second act called A Quiet Place. And it took place 20 years after the Trouble in Tahiti action, with the same characters, Sam and Dinah. Dinah now deceased, Sam mourning her, and his family coming to join him in that grief. It was a total flop. Trouble in Tahiti plus A Quiet Place never went over well. So he reconstructed it again. This time he started with A Quiet Place, did a flashback into Trouble in Tahiti, and then finished with A Quiet Place again. And this version had a lot of success. It was performed not too long ago in New York City Opera, and really now has a place in the repertoire. Trouble in Tahiti also has a place in the repertoire. The difficulty is that it's chamber style in terms of the number of performers, but it has a huge orchestra with all kinds of brass and a huge number of percussion instruments and a whole bunch of things. So luckily for us, a fellow named Garth Sunderland reduced the whole game down to a much shorter, a much smaller complement of instruments. And that's the one that we'll be performing next weekend at the Thalia. It's often performed with piano. Bernstein's music translates fantastically into keyboard, as you'll hear. It's very jazz inflected, and one reason that it maybe didn't enter the repertoire as easily as other pieces of his, like West Side Story, for example, On the Town, Candide, is that it's very much a straddle of opera and musical theater. It really doesn't place well in either category. You've got a trio singing lots of jazzy, upbeat stuff that's very American vernacular, and you've got the leading lady and the leading man singing very operatic, very rich, very lyrical music. So, but Underworld Productions never minded that. That's where we live, straddling that space. So I think it's just exactly the right word for us. So in our version, I kind of bring out the character of Junior a little bit. You're going to see Junior actually enacted by a singing actor, Miran Robarts. And why did I do this? Usually Junior is just referred to, he doesn't actually appear. Well, in doing some background reading, I was finding out that a lot of people think this is about Bernstein's marriage, because he wrote it in 1951 when he was on his honeymoon, and it's about, a difficult, rocky marriage, so people thought it was really about his marriage. But it really doesn't reflect his marriage, which was happy by all reports. It much more likely reflects his parents' marriage. His father's name was Sam Bernstein, and our main character tonight, his name is Sam. And although his mother was named Jenny, his grandmother was named Dinah. So we clearly see that it has something to do with his background and his upbringing. So of course, if Sam and Dinah are the parents, Junior has to be none other than Leonard Bernstein. So we give him a little bit of presence on the stage tonight. You'll see that. Are we set?
Can you just
Yes.
arrange these?
Okay, so we're almost ready to go. So that's Trouble in Tahiti. The relationship that I see to the Respighi that you just heard is not so much in style, although Elsa Respighi actually died later than Bernstein, if you can believe it. She died in 1996, Bernstein died in 1990, I think. Yeah. So not so much in musical style, but more in this exotic flavor. You'll hear in the aria, What a Movie, that we have that little flavor of, Polynesian modality, but not used in the way I was talking about before to kind of get us to, take this bitter pill of how difficult life is, but more as an escape from how bitter life is. The difficulty, the existential angst that you'll hear in Trouble in Tahiti comes right from our red-blooded Americans, Sam and Dinah. So, without further ado, let's have our places for Trouble in Tahiti.
sweet in the spring, lovely in winter, seems us the mother of summers in Maine. Morning sun, kisses the driveway, kisses the lawn, kisses the flagstones on the front lawn of the little white house, kisses the paper at the front door, kisses the roses around the front door of the little white house in Ozone. Oh, White House, little White House. So, automobile, sofa, sofa, ever everything over, ski-doo-day, ski-doo-yada, a-ba-ba-da-doo, ba-da-ba-ba-da, rise up, pizza. Sofa, sofa, so, automobile, sofa, sofa, ever everything over, ski-doo-day, ski-doo-yada, a-ba-ba-da-doo, ba-da-ba-ba-da, rise up, pizza. Suburbia, parks for the kids, Waverly Butchers, less than an hour by train. And morning sun says a good morning, have a good day, have a good morning, have a good day in the city today. Joy to your labors till you return, joy to your labors until you return to the little white house. To the little white house. To the little white house in Highland Park, in Shaker Heights, in Michigan Falls, in Beverly Hills. Ski-dilly-day, ski-dilly-day, Radigoo. How could you say the thing that you did in front of the kid? Oh, it's my fault. It's just but a joke. Pass me the toast. You might have said please. Please understand. I don't mean to fight. Why do you start there? It's simply not right. It's all sad. So picked with you. Here we are fighting. The language you use. This coffee is burned. Make it yourself. Every morning it's the same old thing. Lovely way to start the day. There are things that have to be discussed. There certainly are. Everyone knows that you and Miss Brown. You'll be my secretary. Me and Miss Brown, that only will serve. It's simply absurd. Still young enough. The subject is closed. I'd say for this night, day after day, of the same humiliation. Day after day, with no consideration of what it means to be a woman. A woman needs so little. A little feeling of warmth, a little feeling of home. Try, Dinah, try to be kind. Sam, try to be kind. Help me to feel again. Love you again. Break down this wall we have made. Try, let us try to be kind. Morning sun says a good morning, have a good day, have a good morning, have a good day in the sun. You know it's New Year's big day.
and for all, let's stop this brawling. Tonight we'll talk it over, relaxed and candid and free, as grown-up people should be.
Oh, by the way, my money's run low.
Oh, not again now.
My doctor, you
Doctor, my foot. An out-and-out fake.
He's a great analyst.
The money they make.
You want to go too?
I'm late for my train. Yes. Oh, Mr. Partridge. I'm perfectly fine, thank you. She's well. Yes, exactly what I want to speak to you about. With things as they are, I cannot see how you could ask me again. Now, Mr. Partridge. Yes, I know all that. You already said that. But that's just why I have to refuse you. No. No. Yes, I was sure you would finally see it my way. No trouble at all. Goodbye.
Oh, Sam, you're a genius, you marvelous man. Oh, Sam, you're a genius, you marvelous man. When it comes to the dollar, no one touches marvelous Sam.
Yes. Oh, Bill, good morning. I couldn't be better, Bill. She's well. Yes, the check is all ready and signed and waiting. Now, don't be a child, you know it's a pleasure to do it for you. Is it sufficient? Don't be silly, man. Of course I can spare it. You'll return it whenever you want to. Sure. Bye. won't you sit down, please? Right there. No, it's only a question that I want answered. Now tell me the truth, have I ever made any passes at you? Answer the question. I'd forgotten that. Well, it wasn't much more than an accident, was it, Miss Brown? Simply forget that the incident ever happened. The letters can wait. That's all.
Then desire took hold inside me to touch his saving hand, just to touch his tender hand. And I knew what he would look like, so handsome, so serene. Just my age, just 17. I saw him then, I saw his face. I ran to him, he vanished like smoke. I reached, I called, and I awoke.
Well, of all people.
I'm on my way to lunch with Susie.
And I've got a date with old AJ. Same old business lunch. Too bad we can't have lunch together.
I must run, I'm late already. See you tonight.
See you tonight. up in the pot. There are men who will study the books till Judgment Day and examine the techniques of winners galore. There are men who will practice the rules religiously. Every day they'll improve just a tiny bit more. And they'll put all their soul behind it, all their ego, power, drive, and will and desire behind it. And they'll throw themselves in. But they never will win. They never will win. They never, 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 never will win. There's a law about men. There are men who are flabby and men who are thin. There are fish who are fattish and fish who are trim in the fin. There are men who will sweat out their days in cabinets and be puddled and badgered and beaten and rolled. There are men who will sweat out their nights in Turkish baths. They'll buy every reducing machine that is sold, and they'll live for a week on lemons and another week on grass and water and crackers and lemons, and lay off of the gin. But they'll never be thin. They'll never be thin. They'll never, 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 never be thin.
White man 100-piece symphony orchestra. Highland magic. Where the palm trees whisper together, and it's always midsummer weather. Silent magic. Magic into magic. Magic with the What a terrible, awful movie! How long have I been standing here chattering? If I don't get going this minute, there won't be any dinner when Sam comes home.
There's a law that a man has to pay for what he gets, and that even the winner must pay through the nose. For there always arrives the moment when the payments begin, and I have to go in, I have to go in, I have to go in. Shadows are spreading softly in Leslie's. Bring the loved ones together, safe by the warmth of the firelight. The odor of cooking mingles with evening precious and evening shadows. Isn't it time that we had a talk? A talk about us. Open and candid.
Whatever you say,
Where to begin?
that's up to you.
Our intimate matters, telling all those little things that are only meant for sharing. So confiding, loving.
Well, let's talk. I'm ready to hear.
It's impossible.
You said you
How can we talk when you interrupt?
interrupting.
Never shut up.
What have I said?
Oh, it's no use. Our loved ones together, safe by the warmth of the firelight. The odor of cooking mingles with the
Oh, by the way, the carpenter came to finish the fray. Ought to look pretty. I thought maybe green.
telling of intimate matters, telling all those little things that are only meant for. What did you say?
It doesn't matter.
How was Junior's play?
I didn't go.
Look, Dinah. Maybe we ought to go out somewhere tonight. A movie
We went
or...
last night.
But there's a different one tonight. Just opened that new musical. Something about Tahiti. How about it?
Sure. Anything. I'll get my hat.
Cherries smiling, confiding, loving, each shines bright.
Is there a day or a night waiting in time somewhere? A day of light and air, a night without despair. One day, one night of quietness, quiet, oh the quiet, the quiet of
Shadows in elegance.
one day, not for the bright winning,
One night free of rightful sorrow.
one day, without the dark colors,
Dark street
without the screaming silence.
silence
Maybe there's time to go back and take your hand again and look inside again and face your face again. Look there and find the answer there. Maybe I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know.